Thank you so much to everyone who's attending here today. As Kurt mentioned, we are the newest organization on campus. We've officially stood up in July of this year, and to see all this come to life is surreal to those of us who've been working on it for so long. We're very excited to have everyone here and to have you along on this inaugural event as we grow this organization and show the country that UF is the absolute #1 military-friendly university in the country. Want to give a special recognition to Kurt, who was just up here. He is our Vice President of Events, and he spearheaded everything you see here today. So please give a round of applause to Kurt. I want to draw attention we have a table up front. For those of you be familiar, it's a missing man table. This table is reserved to honor our missing comrades in arms. The table is round to show our everlasting concern for our missing men and fallen. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering their call to duty. The single red rose displays in a vase reminds us of the life of each of the missing and the fallen and their loved ones and friends of these Americans who kept faith awaiting answers. The vase is tied with the yellow ribbon, a sign of our continued determination to account for our missing. A slice of lemon on the bread plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in foreign land. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears endured by those missing and their families who seek answers. The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share this evening's toast with us. The chair is empty. They are missing and fallen. Let us now raise our glasses to toast and honor of Americans, POW, and fallen, and to the successes of our efforts to account for them. Again, thank you all so much for attending. We have the extreme honor of having a guest of honor today. Our guest speaker is Brandon Siler. He is a member of the 2006 National Championship Gator team. He is also a former NFL player, entrepreneur, and founder of Love for Vets, an organization dedicated to providing support and guidance to our veterans. It is with extreme honor that I present Mr. Brandon Siler. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right. How y'all doing? It's crazy how I get here, and I'll tell y'all the story about how I get here. But most people, when I get up and I talk, they ask for football stories, right? And the question that I get the most is, I tell them, I played in 2006. I was the captain of the national championship team. And they say, oh, yeah, you talking about you played with Tebow? I say, no, I ain't played with Tebow. Tebow played with me. I played with the backup quarterback. I'm the captain of the team, right? Yeah, that one gets me every time. It's still, you would think after so many times I get used to it. No, no, but when I got done playing in the NFL, like a lot of us, when we get done playing, you really don't know what you're gonna do next, right? And I came back, and I was fortunate enough to come back, and that's why I'm happy that y'all now have formed this organization, because when I came back to the Alumni Association, and I got my first job, right? My first and only job, really, right? I mean, I don't count football as a job. I was playing, right? And now I run 13 different companies. I own 13 different companies. But the very first thing that I did was come back here, and David Nababi, who was a walk-on for Florida 10 years before me, gave me my first opportunity. Managed a Fortune 500 company for 2.5 years. And then I had about 5 NFL players that went to Florida with me that basically were like, look, I can't get any of these disabilities, right? We got all these mental health issues from beating up on people and things going on, right? Like, you use that helmet, you use that crown, right? So we got all of these injuries and stuff beating up on people. And we can't get any of this stuff. They're saying that it might be some disabilities out there that we have access to. And I was like, you know what, that sucks. They said, well, you're the smart guy, figure it out, right? So I'm like, all right, well, let me try to figure this thing out. So I started researching, and the more and more I researched, the more and more I got pissed off, right? It's because there was a few things sitting there. They didn't educate us about the disabilities, that they were there. And then once you did find out about the disabilities, you couldn't get them, right? It was like they would deny you and look for any reason to deny you the disability. Sound kind of common, right? Right? So I said, man, I got to do something about it. So I went and I helped those 5 players get their disability. I also, en route, bought a rehab facility where athletes go to, where they get treatment for anxiety, depression, PTSD, neurological issues, right? So I did that for football players, right? And now, 7 years into it, we represent over 5,000 NFL players. So we represent all the big names out there, all the Gronks. We represent a lot of our Gators, Javon Curse. We represent Lewis Murphy. We represent Major Wright, right? And we help those guys to get disabilities. So something happened to me, interesting enough, about a year ago. I went with Urban. He invited me on an event to go train with the Navy SEALs. And I was like, oh man, this is my kind of thing, right? Go train with the Navy SEALs. So I went there and they didn't really explain much. They just kind of threw me in the game, right? So they put me in there, they started loading guns, and they said, we're gonna walk out there, it's gonna be people shooting at you. I said, wait, hold on. This ain't supposed to be the first thing that happened to me when I come in here. We ain't even practiced yet, you know what I'm saying? So we had to go in this scenario with these Navy SEALs and had to defend ourselves and get to a home base. But I had a great time that day. But what was life-changing for me was the next day, that night, right? Because we had what's called a fireside chat afterwards, right? Where I listened to these guys and the things that they were going through. And the same thing that pulled on my heart about the NFL players, the same thing happened with the vets. They had the same issues, even tenfold, right? They had the mental health issues, right, where they didn't know where they could get treatment. They didn't know that you can reverse some of the things that we go through. And it's like, that should be a common thing, right? Because you really can reverse the neurons in your brain to help you with PTSD, to help you with anxiety, to help you with depression. But the NFL is so busy trying to cover it up that they can't ever admit that, they ain't admitting that it's a problem, let alone a solution, right? So that's where we came into play. And when I went to that fireside chat and I listened to them guys, I broke down, right? And I cried with them because they were not only going through these same mental health issues, but they couldn't even get their disabilities like they were supposed to, right? And here I am, the best in my business. I'm like Amazon in the NFL world. And then here's a whole nother subset of veterans that's fought for our country, that's put their life on the line, and there's nobody there to fight for them, right? So I had 12 companies at the time, and I told my wife that I wasn't going to do anything else. And then when I came home, I kind of just tucked my tail and just, I got it's a lot of people out there that need our help, and that's when Love for Vets was born, right? I've since helped a lot of those guys. We got licensed out in California, so now we treat active duty members. We get them TMS, we get them neuro and biofeedback. We do all of that with them out in California, and then we help them get their disabilities as well. So that's kind of how I came into the circle and into the world of veterans. If I didn't play football, I know I would have been fighting for the country, right? And I'd have been busting people's butt. just like y'all, right? So I know that. No, I can't still do it. They don't want me. They don't want me. I get out there and fall, pull a hamstring, groin. No, but that's how I end up in y'all circle. I'm glad that y'all started this. And when it was presented to me, and I get faced with all of this all the time. After Swamp Kings, I was like a president again. I was like, oh shoot, here I go, baby. Walking through the airport, there's cameras following me. Who they following? Me? Oh, okay, here we go. Right? So got back into that world, but I'm glad that y'all did this. And I want y'all to know that you're always gonna have my support. Right? I represent a bunch of knuckleheads that I can pull in here and help y'all to get things rocking and rolling in here as well. But we're always going to support. We love y'all. We love what you've done for our country. We love that you fought for our country. And we need an alumni association at Florida, because at Florida, we are the leaders in everything. That's right. That's why this is a Gator Nation. Right? So when we say we're gonna put this together, this room is I'm gonna be asking to get invites in here in a little bit, right? Like, can I still come? Right? Make sure I'm still invited. I know it's gonna blow up, right? So just know that y'all gonna always have my support. Love y'all, and that's pretty much my story. I love y'all. I'm always gonna support y'all. Y'all can ask me any football stories you want. We can take pictures, whatever you want to do. I'm real easy going. All right. So I appreciate y'all for having me. All right.
Thank you so much, Brandon. With that, we are going to move on to the dinner portion. I know people are probably pretty hungry, so we're going to go ahead and do that. It is buffet style, and we ordered way more food than there are people here, so dig in and help yourself. Thank you so much.